All right, welcome back to Preserving Your Family History in Fun and Modern Ways. We're going to use Heritage Makers and Mixbooks. And I decided to do these ones together because I want to be able to compare and contrast as I'm working on them and showing you how to use them. So just a quick thing. Basically, they're both kind of different companies you can use where you make it digitally and then you print it. This one that I have here is one I made for my grandma on Heritage Makers. And it is beautiful. As you can see, it's got a dust jacket. It's super nice quality. I wish you could feel the pages because they're really, really nice. And, you know, took a ton of time. Not a small project like I did a timeline of her life and of course the pedigree of her first page. Okay, so that's kind of a basic feel of like what you can make. And as you can see in this, like there are amazing embellishments, these beautiful flowers and whatever, you know, you can make it super, super pretty in Heritage Makers. So that's like one of the biggest like pros to Heritage Makers. A few of the cons would be that it's a little bit steeper of a learning curve than some of the other sites that you can use to make books and stuff. And then there's, let's see, that would be one. I would say Heritage Makers and Mixbook is a little bit comparable in price, except for you're probably going to get a little bit better deals with Mixbook. But they're both what I like over using a Shutterfly or a, what else is there, Snapfish or one of those, is that you have 100%, you're able to customize it. And why that's important is because with the photos that you have, sometimes you can't adjust the photos to fit the frames. Like in Shutterfly, when they give you a template, you just have to build basically exactly what they want you to build. And your pictures have to fit what they make. But both of these, they have templates, but you can adjust them. You can make it your own. You can add additional photos or take some away. So it gives you a lot of the control. Okay. Now here's an example of what I made with Mixbook. I have made really pretty ones with Mixbook of nice. And their nice books are also nice quality. The pages feel nice. The cover feels nice. So I've made those. This is one that I made that's just an example of a more simple one that I did with Mixbook that took not too much time, but basically, you know, built a little family tree book for my kids of all of their ancestors, me and my husband included, and then all their grandparents and all their great-grandparents, and just of all the things they all each liked to do when they were kids. This one is a little cheaper, like not as good of quality made. The pages still feel nice and thick, but a little cheaper. So Mixbook might be on the little cheaper on the quality end, but it's super replaceable. This book cost me like $8 or $12. Like it was really cheap. I bought a second copy just because I made it when I didn't have my third baby. And so once I had her, I figured I might as well make enough. So anyway, that kind of gives you a feel for like quality and like the type. Now, Mixbook also gives you control like Heritage Makers, but the difference is going to be the embellishments are very simple on Mixbook, like this tree. It's not this beautiful ornate thing like this book where you can see all these beautiful ornate things. So I would say that would be the biggest difference. Quality, I would say, is a little different. Heritage Makers might be a little better quality, but usability on Mixbook is, I think, way easier. I think Mixbook has a much easier interface. I like the templates better as far as, yeah, and Heritage Makers charges you for an upfront, like, to use some of their templates. You can't use them for free. Mixbook, you don't pay till you actually buy it. So there's pros and cons, but I'm going to show you around each and we'll get started on that, and I'll try to keep it quick. So as you can see, we're going to kind of compare Mixbook, Heritage Makers, and then I'll do a separate video for chapbooks. So let's start with Mixbook. I just showed you that book. Excuse me, sorry. I thought I had a link, but I'll fix that for my real presentation at RootStech. But here we go. So it's mixbook.com, and I'm logged in. It automatically logged me in, I think. Maybe not. Yep, I'm logged in. So go ahead and create an account and log in. But you know what? I just need to double check and make sure I'm screen sharing with you. I don't think that I am. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to share a screen now so you'll know what I'm actually doing. I apologize. So now we'll go back to Mixbook. So it's mixbook.com, and you will log in and go ahead and create your account. Then once you have created your account, it is so simple. You come here. This is what I love. So I want to make a photo book, and I want it to be about family. So I click on that. I personally use that yearbooks one for my own family, and I create yearbooks for my family, and it's super easy once you've used that Google photos, like I showed you in the original, that if you have everything in Google Photos, you can literally just like import them from Google Photos, fill it in really fast. It's a quick make. But I like scrolling down this. I think some of these are just gorgeous for family history books. I think this one's really pretty. This one, just very nice and classy looking. I love Mixbook templates. I think that they are beautiful. And you can see all of these. See this beautiful book of remembrance. If you click on it, you can see it will pop up and it will show you what the pages are. You can flip through those pages. And this one has a timeline. How cool is that? And I am just going to tell you, the one I showed you from Heritage Makers took me, I mean, endless hours to create that book. I love it. It is my prized possession. But this one has a template to start off with that honestly, you wouldn't have to do much to this to make a beautiful, beautiful project. I love this one that has that little chart too. That's really cool, a pedigree chart. So with photos, this book is almost pretty much totally ready to go, right? You might have to add a few pages because you have more pictures and just duplicate some of these pages and change the text or something. But other than that, it's ready to go. So if you wanted to work on this project, let's go ahead and do it so that I can show you how easy this really is. So you click the Start Book button in the upper right-hand corner, and then it's going to open up your project. And you have the ability to change everything. You can change colors, you can change backgrounds, you can change text, you can add text, you can add photos, you can change the layout if you want. There's really, the sky's the limit. So this is your typical upload page. You can upload straight from your computer, or you can do Google Photos. If you do the Google Photos, like I've told you in the past, you just have to connect that account. So you connect it to that account, and then it logs you in. And I'll be honest, once in a while it gives me grief, so we might end up just popping over to the other. Okay, there we go. It's going to work. So now it's going to take a minute to load because it's just trying to pull all those photos. And as you've seen in my other tutorials, I have a ton. So as it's pulling those, it's sorting them, and then my albums will pop up here, so I'll be able to pull which, like if I have an actual, oh darn it. See, mine will give me grief sometimes because I have so many, which is fine. We'll just let it keep thinking. While it's thinking, I'm going to minimize this and show you a couple things. So I can come down here, I can draw photos. Let's do a text page so that you can see. It's really simple. If it turns yellow, that's what you're actually clicking on. See how, like, as I move my thing around the page, you can see it highlights that. So if I wanted to put a picture up here, I can click it and I can double click on a photo over here, which is where they'll be. Or if I want to change the text here to celebrating, because we're celebrating because this person hasn't passed away, maybe. So, and the thinking thing is literally just because it's trying to connect to the life of, because it's still trying to connect to my photos. So otherwise that little thing's gone. And then literally you just come down here to, I'm going to move this. I like to keep my bar over here because most of the editing softwares and things I use, I feel like it's nicer to have more space up and down here. But down here is where you're going to be able to move around your book. You're going to click on this spread and it's going to pop open that spread, and you can add photos and things like that. You can change the text, add different quotes. You could change this word if you wanted it to be, instead of remember, celebrate, or, oh, now, okay, so see how that didn't actually let me change it? That's something I'd want to show you. That is actually a sticker. It's not text. And so you would come up here if you wanted to change that sticker, and you could look for something else. And it's going to pop up all the stickers that are part of this theme. So you can see here that it says theme stickers or project stickers. Theme stickers are all here. If I wanted it to be something that looks a lot like what I already have, I would just double click that, except for I already had remember, so it's not going to change it. But now I have remember, that's great. But if you wanted to change it to be family, double click that. And it's just adding it, which is fine, because then I can just move it up to wherever I wanted it to be. So if I wanted to remember family, delete that one, you just click on it, hit the delete button, and voila. So it's very simple to move things around. I really, really, really love this program. Another thing that I love about this, well, let's pop over and see if our photos are cooperating yet. Not yet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just upload them from my computer so you can see. So we're going to go to this PC real quick, grab our family history photos. Working on it. Okay. Once again, I'm going to sort by date, but I want it to be ascending this time because I want them in the right order. So I'm going to just pull, I'm just going to pull random ones so you can kind of see how this works. So we'll pull like a few throughout the years. Okay. And that works. Click open. Now they're going to upload. It's really quite fast, which is nice. But once again, I can minimize it while it's thinking, and you'll see how it'll pop them up. Okay, now this is the most amazing tool, and this is something that Heritage Makers does not offer, and one of the reasons I recommend using this program. You see this autofill button here? Well, first I'll show you. So if you want to put a picture in, all you have to do is grab it from over here, drag it to where you want it, and pop it in there. Now this box has an effect on it. That's why my picture went from colored to black and white. All I have to do to change that is click on this button right here, because that's filters, and click no effect, and then it will put it to the color that it is. I can also click within this picture, and if I hover in this hand, I can move the picture up and down and all around if it's zoomed, so I can have it that. So if I want to zoom it, I scroll on that. If I want these guys all right there on the screen, but just a little bit, so I can adjust that way. If I actually want to make the picture bigger, because it's not quite, you know, I just want it to be bigger, then I can do that by pulling on those little hover bars in the corners. But now I have that problem because I have, oh no, I have that frame and it's not the right size. So then I just have to hover until you saw how I selected it by hovering and clicking. And then draw it to be bigger so it looks like it's the right size. And then voila. I would obviously then have to move my text over, which I just click on it, grab that yellow box and slide it over. If I grab on the red bars, it's going to move it and change the shape and size. If I grab just on the yellow bar, it's going to move it anywhere on the page. So hopefully that kind of helps that. Okay, now I'm going to show you this autofill button that is amazing. So let's say I have hundreds of pictures here, and they're already in chronological order. I've already built this page. We probably wouldn't want to do it on this page just because it's a timeline. We want to make sure we have specific exact pictures there. But for the rest of it, we just want to fill this whole book with these pictures of this person's life. So we click autofill, and then it's going to say, do you want to insert them? Mixbook can automatically insert them. Yes, I want to. Please do. And then I click that, and you can see it working down here, kind of like we did with the Pro Show. And since I don't have very many, obviously it only filled as far as it could go. So it started at the front cover and put that in there. And then it put that on the second page. And then it auto-filled this timeline. Do you see how it did that? And this is awesome for like yearbooks. It's also awesome for something like this. The only catch would be that you might want to move that spread, this spread, to somewhere else in the book, because this is when you're going to want to select very specific pictures for. But for the most part, if you don't have really specific, this needs to go on this page and that page, if you just want it in chronological order, that is the way to go, because it saves you so much time. And then if you want to see what your book's going to look like, you click this preview button, and voila. Voila, voila. So I love it. I think this is such a wonderful program. And that is still pretty. Like, it is not as gourmet as Heritage Makers, I'll admit, but it is still really pretty. And the quality of the books, when you get them, they feel beautiful. And it is one of those presents that I say always makes people cry. Like, just brings people to tears. They love them. So total recommend it. When you're done with it, oh yeah, if you want to add text, as you toy around with it, you'll see you can add different things. I guess I'll show you the backgrounds too. The backgrounds, that's going to show you the ones that are in the theme. So if you want to keep the same theme, but you don't really like the color or something of the background, you just click on that background there and then double click that, and you saw how it switched it. So it's super, super easy. We can do it with that one. Change it to brown. Okay, I like that. So brown it is. Okay. So it's really easy to change things like that. If you want to add different stickers, like I've tried this one, I feel like it doesn't have a good, no, it doesn't. But if you do a tree, because you know you're doing a family history book and you want a tree in there, please excuse the pounding if you can hear it. My husband's downstairs working on a project. Okay, so tree's not pulling it, but I don't know, soda, I don't know. I think it's searching in my project or something, because usually it has more. But oh, I'm in background, so that's my problem. Sorry about that. Tree. Let's do that. Okay, now you can see stickers that are popping up that are trees. So if I had my picture in here and I just wanted that same feel of those trees because I really like the way that feels, I stick it on there and then I can hover over it, grab it, and drop it. And it's going to look like that. And then I can add a photo. And I know this doesn't necessarily mesh well, but that gives you the feel for what you can do, the different things you can do with it. I hope that kind of, I don't know, I hope that at least makes you familiar. If you pop something on there and you want to change the colors, you just come in here and some of them can't be changed, like that one it looks like can't, but it will give you all the customizability so you can add drop shadows and things like that. So some stickers can be changed and some can't, that one can't. So hopefully that gives you a good feel of Mixbook. When you are done, you literally preview it and then save it, and then you can hit order, or if you save it, you're going to see it will just put it into your, I can close this window because obviously you're not going to finish all in one sitting. And by this way, that's starting at $15.99. That's going to be for like a soft cover book, and that's going to be the cheapest version you can buy. So soft cover book, and if you don't add pages. If you do end up adding pages, it does add some additional costs. If you click this view product info, you can see what additional cost there would be, and you can select the different things here. So that kind of gives you the feel for what you'd be adding. I hope that's helpful to you. Okay, so then let's say you closed it and you're like, I'm going to come back and finish it later. All you have to do is log in and you click on My Projects, and it's going to pop up all the projects you've ever made in here. And you can share them. I love that you can share them. I'm trying to remember how you click on the name, I believe. Yep, and it brings up this preview screen. And then you can just click the share button on Facebook or tweet it or Google Plus, or you can actually embed it on a blog if you have, or I like to just copy the URL and email it to someone. If you've made it and one of your friends really wants to make the exact same one, then you can invite a contributor, or you can make a copy and make a collaborator, and then they can have the exact same copy because if you've made edits that they want in their project. So I hope that gives you a feel for Mixbook. It is awesome, and one big recommendation I give with Mixbook is that you wait for sales, because once you sign up, you'll see you get sales in your inbox all the time. But they'll do really good sales and they mix them up quite a bit. So you can get them for a lot cheaper. I mean, I'd say normally 40 to 50% off. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, now we're hopping over to Heritage Makers. Now, Heritage Makers, I'll admit, I haven't used as often or as recently. I used to use it all the time. But since I discovered Mixbook, I really don't use this one as much. So let's see if I can remember how to log in. Just kidding. But it hasn't changed a lot, which is good. So here's the basic layout of Heritage Makers. Now, the way that they work is you pay for their art up front. So all that beautiful artwork I was showing you. And some of it's free. There is a free account. You can create an account for free. You have a limited amount of photo storage, as in photos you can upload to your project. And you have a limited amount of access to art. Now, the art, so what it's called is, I believe it's called Premiere, unless they've changed it, of course, which they could have changed the name. But basically, you're looking for for the ability to be able to use any premium art. And then they also work in publishing points. So you actually purchase publishing points, and then those points are what you buy it with. So it's kind of annoying that way. Oh, that's what it's called. So it's the Club HM is what you would want to join to get Premiere art, as you look right there. And then you have access to their online community project tips and ideas and wholesale pricing, which makes it cheaper. So it'd be worth joining Club HM if you're going to work on a big project. It also gives you some more storage space. I don't remember exactly how much, but that's the basics of kind of how that works. Okay, so actually, let's go to the template gallery, because you're going to be starting from scratch. So we want to browse our template gallery because you want to see what's out there. And they have it broken down similar to Mixbook in that you can choose different, home decor, school, sports, family. We're going to go to family again because that's what we want to look at. Now, we want to start with basic because we want to do it free. So as soon as that loads, I'm going to sort only by basics. well, I'm going to show you both, but I want you to see what you can do for free without getting that premier art. And then I want you to see what you can get if you do pay for that premier art. And that's if their site chooses to load. Okay, well, that's thinking. We're going to go to, let's go back. Let's hit reset. We'll give it one more shot. Okay, good. It worked. All right, I must have confused it. Okay, so you can see how many there are. There's 1,796 basic arts. So that's going to be with your free account. But we want a storybook, right? So we're going to come over here to the project type and we're going to do storybooks, so that's 753. So it's telling you how many with your selection you can get. So I only want storybooks, not calendars. Why is it giving me calendars? Maybe refresh. I'm going to make, oh, it's probably that reset button again. Sorry. Storybooks and reset gallery. And that's still been Airbase. Casey already. I do love Heritage Makers for certain things, but for other things, okay, we're just going to look at the whole gallery then. And we'll go, and we're in family, so we'll just look at them and we'll just look at the ones that are. So it's hard because, yeah, these are scrap pages, so they're just actual pages, they're not actual books. You can copy any project into any other project, like, so if you loved that metal print and you wanted that layout in your book, you could do that. It's a little work around it, it takes some work, but you could do it. Yeah, this is not awesome. Storybook. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. Okay. Still giving me scrap pages, which is annoying because I don't want scrap pages. And they're not appearing to be here, but whatever. Oh, why? I don't think I clicked that. That's okay. Okay, you can see it now. Yay. Okay. So these are beautiful. They are, no question. You can see that that is just a beautiful book. Let's glance at it real fast. You can see the different pages here. It'll click through. No question. It is a beautiful book. And like professionals made these. They're really pretty and I love them. So if you are really into the pretty, go with Heritage Makers. It does have a higher learning curve, but if that is important to you, this is gonna provide it for you. You can see that pretty wedding album, family fun. Scroll down, you can see different ones. And basically what you do is, right now we are in all storybooks, so we didn't get it to do both. Now we've got it sifted to basics. So these are ones that are free that you could get for free and try them out. It's not going to have that autofill option, but it's at least something, which is nice. And these are really cute layouts, so you can do a lot with them. It just requires, they're just a little more basic. So let's pick this one. So let's say we were like, okay, we love that one, we're going to personalize it. You can see right away, this is a 12 by 12, so that's comparable price. The price we were looking at for the Mixbook one was like an 8 by 8 or something. So let's go ahead and we want to create this one for ourselves. And so I'll be able to just show you the basics of using this system. And sorry, this video is getting really long. This site's really slow. So what's another interesting fact I could tell you about it? Let's see if it opens on another window. Doesn't look like it. Okay, here we go. Opening the project. So what it's doing now is it's opening it in an editor. Just similar to how Mixbook opened up a new window, the editor window. And as you work on it, it will save it. I would click save still on this one for sure. It doesn't do it as often. This gives you a basic layout. This is where you personalize. You come up here to publish it and you can add photos here. So we're gonna close because we don't want to see that anymore. My window doesn't want to close. Next. Delete that. Okay, we're going to go work on my project because, okay, so once I viewed it like that, you can see it went into this folder called View in Progress. The way that you would get to the screen is clicking on My Projects and Templates, And then you can view the ones that are in progress. You can view ones that you've done in the past, and you can view templates that you've saved, because sometimes you'll just go through the template gallery and you'll say, oh, I really like that one, I really like that one, and that it will save them. You'll star them and it'll save them as my templates. What I would recommend doing is starting them if you can, and then that way it's saved in here and you can work on it. But let's look at, and then once you've completed one, they come into here and you can go edit them again. You can create a copy of them. Yeah, you have to create a copy to edit them again. So, all right, click on edit and see if this will work for us this time. Okay, we don't want that tutorial anymore. Don't show again. Thank you. Okay, so the basics of this layout are, down here's where all of your dialogue, this is where you're going to go for all your stuff. And oh, I have to allow this or else it's not going to let me. And here's where you're going to get your photos. This is on the Photos tab automatically. Now these are photos I've uploaded in the past. This one does not sync with Google Photos, so they will have to be on your computer. You can add text boxes, and pretty much for text boxes, all you have to do is drag and drop these up there, and then it populates that text box on the screen. I'm going to, and then, sorry, so over here is where you manage your pages. You can move your pages around like you could in Mixbook. I don't remember if I showed you how, but in Mixbook you can slide them out, change the order, you can change pages or change whole sets of pages. Here is where you would do that. You'd click on this Manage Pages button. I'll show you how to do that in 1 second, but that's how I switched, so that I was looking at this one instead. Up here I can zoom in a little bit, and that way I can see what I'm working on a little better. So if I wanted to add just some text, I can pop that up there and I can add text into that and change the font and the size. And we're not going to do too much there, but we'll give it a feel. So, you know, I want to make it big and change the font to whatever, grade school. So, and then this would be the color. Obviously the other editing features. Okay, art collection is where I want to pop next. You can, if you're doing this in a free version, go ahead and click this hide premiere button, because otherwise you're going to see all this art that you're like, oh, I really want that. But if you're working in both, you can leave it. Now what you can do is you can search. So if I put family, it's going to find all the pieces of art. Now this is where Heritage Makers is going to like knock Mixbook out of the park. It has amazing art. It really does have beautiful art. So you can see it breaks it down into whole collections called family. And like if you click on a collection, you can get an example of what that whole collection looks like. And it's fun to build books based off of that. If you're a digital scrapbooker, you can kind of see that. That would be fun. Next, embellishments. And as you can see, it's only showing 50, but there's 275. So you have potential to see a ton. And if you click the see more button, it's going to just populate all those 275. And then you can scroll down. And what's cool is I want to hide Premiere. And these are all Premiere, so we'll go back because I don't have Premiere right now. But if I pick an embellishment that I love, I can just literally drag and drop it onto my screen, and you can see how that prettily, that's not a word, how that pretty little thing goes right there, and then it's on my page, and I can do different things with it. So that's how the art works. It breaks it down into embellishments, then papers and textures. So that would be something you could drag up here and fill the whole page with. Downsize this so I can do it. Fill the whole page with, and then I would just move it to the back so that so right click and then send. I would send it straight to the back, and then control button and the up button moves it forward and backwards as well. So I'm just hitting up and down, and that's how I'm doing that. So if I sent it all the way to the back, I want it one forward because I want it in front of what was there before. So I would just do that. Control up or right click in and move forward. So that's kind of the basics there. That's how you could use backgrounds. You can also use backgrounds to fill like a photo spot if you don't have enough photos for the page, but the layout looks nice and you just want to have some color in there, you do that. The last thing is these quick pages. I don't really use them. They're ones that people have put together for just to put a page together. I don't like them. They're not super useful, I don't think. And then these last ones are word art. So it's different words and things like that that fell under your search, my search of family, and you can pop them up here and drop them on there, and it's that simple if you like the art that it is. You can't edit it. You're not going to be able to edit that text. It's not a text box. It's art that has words on it. So I hope that gives you a basic. Manage pages is where you would click if you wanted to change the order of things. So you would literally just drag it and drop it out of place. And that is one thing that I think is kind of annoying. You can't do both pages. Or actually, yeah, you can now. Nope, still can't. So yeah, you have to move one at a time, which can become really annoying. But you can duplicate pages. As you can see there, you can remove pages. So if you like a certain layout and you just want to create a whole nother page of the same layout, that's how you would do that. One thing that I do like that's nice on Heritage Makers is it does tell you extra page wholesale cost. It tells you how much it's costing. So as you're adding it and adding it and adding it, you'll know what your book total is. And I do like that because it can add up really fast. As you start adding a lot of pages. Your toolbox for all of your specific things is right here. So if I'm on this picture, anything I can do to this picture is going to be in this toolbox over here. So that moving it forward and backwards is going to be these buttons here. And then, so I'll show you how to use these really quick. So I'm on this, and let's say I want to adjust it. I can zoom it. And that's what adjusting is going to do. It's going to let me zoom that picture in and out, just like how we did with the hover hand in Mixbook. But let's just say I only wanted that kid in it. So I'm going to put his face right there, front and center. And then I can rotate it a bit if he's off center or something. And then hit done. Okay, that is because this picture is locked. That red box around it means that it's locked. If I want to unlock it, I click this unlock button. And now I can move the picture all around and adjust all of these things. I can make it bigger or smaller in that way. So that's something that's big in Heritage Makers. If it's locked or unlocked, it's gonna change the things you can do to it. When it's unlocked, you can do almost anything to it. You can change the layout, and in this location you see that these are not like grayed out like they were before. Now you can actually use them. So you can move this to the very front of the thing or to the very back behind all the other artwork. You can change the alignment if you have another photo selected, but this one's got to be unlocked too. But I want to make sure they're both lined up to the right, we'll say. Right there, aligned to the right, and they're both going to have, oh, I don't know what I selected. I guess I didn't select both. Sorry, I hit shift, select both, or control and hit both, and now you saw how that lined them both up. So that's kind of a basic thing. You can change the position like to the very dot, which makes it a lot more detailed. This is why there's a little bit more of a learning curve. There's a lot more detailed. Mixbook works more in snaps and things, which I feel like most people are more comfortable with and used to using. I'm trying to think, but all of these tools are actually super helpful and effective. All right. You can change blur, transparency around the corners, give it a border, fill the background if you don't like, honestly, I use that one the most when I want to give it more of a sepia type of look. I'll fill it with brown, and then I just make the transparency really like low. So it just gave it a little bit of a sepia look without going sepia. It still has the color. Sometimes in old family history books, you want to do things like that. So I think that's kind of the basics. When you're done, you can click this preview button. There's so much you could do as you play around with it, and they have tutorials too. The zoom to fit button will always make it so that you can see more of your page. And these little texts here are just to inform you of like what each area on the screen is, like where you want to make sure you don't put your words, because it could get cut off, or things that are important. I don't want to load the preview because they always take forever, but when you're done, you just click this ready to publish, hit OK. It's going to add it to your cart, it's going to add it to your completed project. But the cool thing is it does give you a whole bunch of warnings. It says, wait, we don't think you did this, and we don't think you did that, which I didn't. So you can reopen the editor, or you can say, no, I love it the way it is, and I'm ready to publish. So then it will pop. I think it asks you if you want to put it in your cart. You can throw it straight in there, or it will put it straight into this view completed project as you're finished, like I showed you before. And then you can add it, share it, and delete it, all of those things. The one other negative that I do have to point out about Heritage Makers, they will delete your entire account if you don't buy something every 18 months. This is one of my biggest drawbacks to using Heritage Makers. So, but you have to be committed to using it regularly, or else it's not worth it, because after you spend all that time working on that beautiful book, you do not want it to get deleted digitally. And no, Mixbook makes no promise that they're going to keep it, but I have not had them ever threaten for me to delete anything. And several of the books I've never even ordered. I've just created them and I haven't ordered them yet. So, you run the risk either place, but that's my 2 cents on that. Okay, I apologize. This one ended up being so long. I hope that it was informative and that you learned a couple things, and I'm excited for you to get working on your books. Please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions. I love helping people get going, and I love helping you have success with your family history. So until next time, thanks. Bye.